Well, let's bring in former FBI Assistant Director Chris Swecker, somebody that knows Washington just as well as anybody. And something that that they pointed out in the Washington Post, of all places, this is their home as well. Something is clearly rotten in society when 14-year-olds from out of state are routinely carjacking people, such as what happened to that former DOJ staffer August 3rd at 3 a.m. I mean, this is not a new problem. And I find it rich that the critics, those with Trump derangement syndrome, are going after him for this federal takeover of a city that is the nation's capital. This should be our crown jewel.
Yeah, it's certainly not a new problem in the District of Columbia, for sure. I mean, despite their claims that crime has gone down, I mean, those of us that know how crime statistics work know how easy it is to game that system, and we know that the District of Columbia has gamed the system in the past. They have a commander right now who's under investigation for gaming the system, for cooking the book, for downgrading crime stats down from serious crimes down to less serious crimes. So the fact is that D.C. is a war zone. I've lived in the middle of D.C. When I was at FBI headquarters. I lived in the heart of D.C. And you can hear gunshots going off in the middle of the night. There are certain parts of the city you better not go there, even in daylight. So this is one of the best things that this president has done. This is how you reduce crime. You flood the zones. And you flood the areas with visible police presence. You try to deter crime. And when crime does happen, you arrest them swiftly and push them through the prosecution system with Janine Pirro at the D.C. U.S. Attorney's Office, and make sure that justice is swift and sure, and take the worst of the worst and put them away.
Yeah, I mean, when you're a 14-year-old and you go to prison for 5 years, that's a long time for you to sit in a cell and maybe reevaluate
Right.
your choices, not, let's let the 14-year-old off the hook so he can go out there and recommit more crimes and more violence. I think, and that's her point. I think that's many voices are saying enough is enough. I want to ask you about what's going on with Hillary Clinton. The former Secretary of State is facing this ethics complaint from a government watchdog group. They're calling on the Arkansas State Bar to probe whether Clinton's involvement in the Russia collusion lie affects her ability to practice law in that state. Florida Congressman Byron Donalds told Maria on this program that Hillary needs to be held accountable for her actions. Watch.
We know that Hillary Clinton concocted a scheme that abused the intelligence community, abused the FISA court system, just so they could spy on her rival at the time, then candidate Donald Trump. The bar for getting a law license is quite high. The ethical bar is quite high. And so, yes, they should be looking at her law license in Arkansas, quite frankly, in every other state in the country. The American people are tired of these things just becoming news cycle stories. They want to see action. This is a real scandal in America's constitutional republic. Revoking their security clearances is the first step in true accountability.
And I want to be clear here that Clinton's office has not responded to Fox News Digital's request for comment on all of this. Now, I'm pretty sure that Hillary Clinton is no longer practicing law. She's giving speeches and making money and maybe going to write another book. But at the same time, what do you make of this complaint against her?
Well, I mean, I think it's common knowledge that the Clintons have been ethically challenged. Her husband, Bill, was disbarred for a variety of things. Hillary may not be practicing law, but I'm sure she's kept her bar license current. And that means that she has to comply with the ethical standards of the bar, the state bar where she's a member, probably Arkansas and D.C. and maybe some other places, New York. And that means that she has to live up to certain standards of ethics, of honesty, of the factual, making sure that things that she does and says and writes in legal documents are factual. And in this case, the Steele dossier, if anybody's read it, you know it's anything but that. It's nothing but a bunch of lies and innuendos and third-hand information. But it's not so much the misinformation that's in there. It's the purpose that she hired people to prepare the report for, and that was to throw dirt at the Trump campaign and frame him so that criminal charges are lodged against him, and a criminal investigation, a 2-year criminal investigation that was designed to cripple his campaign and his presidency came about. So, yeah, I would welcome a full investigation by the state bars, the respective state bars, because I think where there's certainly smoke here, and most of us think, those of us that are attorneys think there's plenty of fire.
All right, Chris Swecker, it's always great to have you on the program. Thank you for joining us this morning.
Thank you.